Hey guys, my name is Kev and welcome back to the channel. The Steam Spring Sale has started, and if you're anything like me, you like inexpensive and or free games. I try not to spend full price on games. I just feel like most of the time they're not even worth it, especially when we're talking about the AAA sphere. So I try to find them on a discount. I try not to spend over 20 bucks on games, and everything on this list is $10 or less, with the exception of one or two, which are like 12 bucks. So I'm trying to keep it right around everything right around 10 bucks. Nothing hits 15. And like I said, they're all RPGs and strategy games on this list. Most of them are on Steam. There is one that's on GOG, just because GOG is a better discount than what they're offering on Steam. And in general, I recommend people, if you can, use GOG, because those offline installers are a lifesaver. Sometimes when games have problems, the version actually avoids the problem entirely. Good example is Fallout 4, when they did the Anniversary Edition update. The GOG version of the game was completely unaffected. Because you didn't have to update like you do on Steam. There's ways to go in there to make Steam not updated, but for your average person, you have to update Steam unless you just know how to turn off automatic updates, because they're going to push you to that update, where GOG does not. Anyway, without going on a big ramble, there's around 10 to I think 15 games here. So let's go through. We're going to recommend some that I actually really enjoy. Number one, Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Now, if you know me, you know I love the Mass Effect trilogy. My favorite game series of all time. And it is on sale on Steam right now for $6. Play this for $6. It's 3 games. If you do all the content in there, you're gonna. I played it last. This is my most recent playthrough. Actually, it's on the Steam version. I've also played it on Series S, the Xbox, when the Legendary Edition came out. I'd say you're going to get about 120 hours out of it. That's about what I got, about 110, 120. Oh, here we go, 106. And I skipped some of the DLCs for Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3. I basically did everything I could to get the 100% achievement. But if I didn't have to do it, I didn't do it. And I did beat it on Insanity, which makes it take a little bit longer. But in general, yeah, I think you should get right around 100 hours of gameplay out of this guy. But for $6, it's this excellent series from the late 2000s, early 2010s. Cover-based, third-person, sci-fi RPG, party-based, excellent characters, excellent writing, good gameplay in there. I think a lot of people are going to really enjoy this game. And like I said, I'm a little biased because Mass Effect is my favorite game series of all time. Number 2, Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition. Now, it's $6.59 on Steam. You can go get it for $5.61 if you want to go to Green Man Gaming. Green Man Gaming is a legitimate key site, but I know some people don't like key sites. Now, the reason I'm recommending Fallout 3 over New Vegas is just because it's my preference. New Vegas is phenomenal. I have no problems with Fallout New Vegas. But I've always really just preferred the DC Wastelands in Fallout 3. So for my personal opinion, my personal preference would be, play Fallout 3 over New Vegas, though I know most people, in the more popular opinion, is to play Fallout New Vegas. If you watch the excellent Amazon Prime Fallout TV show, the games are based, or the show is based on these games. So it's an excellent series. It's sci-fi. Lots of factions, lots of stuff going on. Same kind of stuff that's kind of going on in the show, but it's not exactly the same. Of course, they're telling their own stories, but you're in that wasteland, and like I said, it inspired the TV show. The series, or season 2 of the series, we believe is actually heading to New Vegas. So if you want to play Fallout New Vegas, that would even be a good idea. This game takes place in Washington, D.C. Every Fallout game kind of takes place somewhere different, where I believe the first one was in L.A., and being near LA, I believe that was the first Fallout. I didn't play the first 2 or 3 Fallout. Fallout 3 was my first one. There's a couple isometric ones that I didn't play, and I believe that the TV show is based on those locations. So something to keep in mind. Dragon Age Origins. Now, I know people are turned off by Dragon Age the Veilguard. This is the original. This is the best game in the series, and most people will agree with that. It's $6 right now. What I will tell you is specifically on PC, be patient with the game. It does crash a bit on Windows 10 and 11. So be aware of that. Be cautious and aware of that. And it's going to require a bit of patience, but the game is worth it to play. It's just a phenomenal game. It's on GOG as well, but it's not on sale. And I do believe it's part of their Good Old Games program. I'd have to actually look into that. And their Good Old Games program, they're usually really good about fixing games. I just don't own it on GOG to know for sure to be able to vet that. But I know on Steam, I know on EA, it does tend to crash a lot, like I said, on Windows 10 and 11. It's still playable. I played it again in 2024 over the summer. Still an excellent game. I played it on the lead up to Dragon Age the Veilguard before I decided I didn't want to play the game. And I think this game is amazing. It's excellent. It is the spiritual successor to Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. For those of you that don't know, BioWare made the original Baldur's Gate games. And this is a game in a similar vein for $6. So if you like Baldur's Gate 3, which is a little bit different, but if you liked Baldur's Gate 3, I would recommend maybe going and check out Dragon Age Origins, just because they're made in the same kind of vein, with the same kind of ideas and philosophies. They're kind of like cousins, if you will, gaming cousins. The Witcher Trilogy Bundle. This is one of the games I was saying is above my $10 limit, but that's because it's $11.22 to get all 3 games. You can get just The Witcher 3 for $8. You can get The Witcher 3 Complete Edition with the DLC for $10. Or you can get all 3 baseline games for $11. I think that getting all 3 baseline games is a better deal. You will have to buy The Witcher 3 DLC separately, but I think that's worthwhile. And there's a lot of content here. I played The Witcher 2 and I've beaten The Witcher 3. I haven't played The Witcher 1 at all. And I hear The Witcher 3, or The Witcher 1, excuse me, like really, really difficult to get into. In fact, that's where the PC Master Race meme came from, because it was just a really complicated game, a really complex game to get into. And they were actually trying to make fun of them, and obviously it became a bigger thing than everybody thought it would. So there's that. The Witcher 2, excellent. I played it for a while, then I kind of put it down for a little bit and never went back to it. So I played about half of it, and everything I played of it was excellent. I really, really enjoyed the game. I'm gonna go back at some point and finish it. I just didn't. I got distracted by something else, and that happens to me with games a lot. I might get distracted by something else for whatever reason, like new releases or something, and then never go back and finish. And that's kind of what happened to The Witcher 2. But I do want to go back and finish it. I really did enjoy what I played of it. I did beat The Witcher 3 at launch. Excellent game. Love this. In my opinion, this is the best game of its generation, bar none. I think more and more people should play this game because it is just fantastic. Good writing, good gameplay, good lore, good replay value, good choice and consequence. Everything that I want in an RPG is in The Witcher 3. And and it's a great price. If you can get these guys on GOG, I would recommend it. There's not on sale on GOG right now, but the games are made by CD Projekt Red, who own GOG. And I'll always recommend GOG if you can get it. By the way, Dragon Age and Fallout 3 are also on GOG. Fallout New Vegas is as well. Mass Effect is not. So play these, especially if you like medieval fantasy games. If you've seen the Netflix series, this isn't the Netflix series is based on the books, where the Witcher trilogy games kind of do their own thing, but they're all still kind of based on the novels, just more or less on one side or the other. This one, I think, is another one that broke my $10 limit, but I think is very much still worth it. Another favorite series of mine, Persona. I'm recommending Persona 4 Golden. This game is phenomenal. All 3 modern Persona games are fantastic. And if you've ever been interested in them but didn't want to take a deep plunge financially, this is the one to do it. This is the cheapest one. That's still kind of, it's still very retro feeling compared to 3, especially 3 Reload, and Persona 5 Royal, and even Metaphor Fantasio. It feels very different from all those ones, but they're all still kind of in the same vein. It's it's hard to kind of explain what Persona is. It's a series of JRPGs. They're turn based. In this one, it's a murder mystery. Every game is kind of separate, its own story, its own characters, kind of restarts everything, but there's all kind of ongoing themes. So in this one, you're in the small town of Inaba. You're a high school student. All of the Persona games, you're a high school student. And there's murders going on around town, and you're trying to help figure out why. People are being murdered in something called the Midnight Channel, and you and your other Persona users, your friends, are going through to the Midnight Channel, and you have to use your Persona abilities to stop the murders from happening. That's kind of the synopsis of the game, all in all, without getting too spoilery. But there's some great dialogue in here, amazing story, really fun combat. But it's a JRPG, so of course the story is important here, and that's a lot of what you're going to do. Because unlike more Western American RPGs, you're not getting your choice and consequences. There's also some really good strategy in here. For those of you that like tactics in your RPGs, which is what I really like about the Persona games and just turn-based RPGs in general. So yeah, heavily recommend Persona 4. All the Personas really, while this is probably my least favorite of the modern Persona games, it's still a fantastic game. All three of them, 3, 4, and 5, are all fantastic. It's just it's not that this game is bad, I just happen to like 4 and 5 more, or 3 and 5 more. But I still highly recommend this game. Like, you will not be disappointed with this. Play it, pick it up. Again, it's on sale for $11, $12. And then if you do like it, I would say next try Persona 5 Royal or 3 Reload. And you'll get a lot more quality of life features. I really want them to remake this game. But yeah, play Persona 4. It's good. Pillars of Eternity. This is on sale for $7.50, or you can get $10 and get it with all of the DLC. This is my current addiction. This is what I'm playing right now currently, is the original Pillars of Eternity. If you're interested in Avowed is a sequel to this. And I know Avowed has gotten mixed reception from players. I haven't played Avowed yet, and the reason, because Avowed was actually one of my most anticipated games of 2025, and the reason I didn't play it is because it's set in this universe, and I hadn't played Pillars, and I thought that might have been kind of wild, kind of crazy, because this game has been sitting in my backlog literally since it came out. I would start it, and then again I would get distracted by other games, which I think I told you guys I had a bad habit of that over the years. It is isometric RPG. It is real time with pause, which I know turns some people off. Dragon Age Origins is like that too. But all that really means though is you pick your ability, and instead of it having a cooldown time for your ability to go up, it has a wind up time. Other than that, so if you've played games with a cooldown, it's the same idea. It just has a wind up time. I'm about 53 hours into this game, and I am still in Act 2. And I'm still doing a lot of side quests, and I'm doing a lot of other stuff in the game. The characters are really well written. The writing in this game is off the chain. That's what you're here for. You show up for the excellent writing, and the choice and consequences there. The characters are really good, but I think they could be a little more fleshed out. But this is still a freaking fantastic game that I think everybody should play, especially for the low price of $7.50. Runs really well on the Steam Deck as well. I've been playing this on my Steam Deck and jumping back and forth between the Steam Deck and Windows, and it runs excellently on the deck. Persona 4 does as well, while we're talking about it. So yeah, definitely recommend Pillars of Eternity. Play this. You're going to be in for a good time, especially if you like games that give you choice of consequence. It's a fantasy setting, a really dark fantasy setting. where you can be evil if you want to, you can be good if you want to, you can be neutral if you want to. There's so many different things that you can do here. Highly, highly, highly recommend you guys playing this game. Jade Empire, another BioWare classic. I've played a little bit of this, but I'm going to recommend this with a caveat, and as you see here as mixed reviews, lately mixed reviews. It's on sale now for $3.75 on Steam. I would actually recommend you buy it from the EA store and play it on the EA app or Origin. Or catch it on a sale on GOG. It was just on sale on GOG. It's not on sale anymore. I was trying to find the GOG link to see if I could recommend that one to you guys, because this game is excellent. The game is really, really good. The problem is EA hasn't cared for the Steam version. So you have to do some copy and pasting of files to make an INI edit to get it to load on Steam, and even then it's kind of hit or miss if you try to launch it through Steam. If you just make a shortcut on the desktop, it works just fine when you do the fix. But I know some people aren't going to want to do that, and if that's the case, if you buy it on EA, and I say this because I have EA, GOG, and Steam copies, I own on all three platforms, EA's just works. You go into the EA app, you hit play, and it just works. And I tested this a week ago. On Steam, it should work clicking through the Steam app after you do the edits. But like I said, it's finicky. I've had it work. I've had it not. I've had it crash. It'll crash sometimes and not even give you a splash screen. Sometimes it'll give you the splash screen to start the game, and then you start it with the fixes, and then nothing happens. The GOG version also just works. They'll give you an offline installer. You install it on your desktop and just play it, and it just works. It's a cool martial arts RPG action game by BioWare. This is early 2000s BioWare, pre-Mass Effect, pre-Dragon Age. This came out right around the time KOTOR did. And it's a really good game that I think, again, more people should play. I just don't recommend the Steam version unless you're technically savvy and you can go in and edit the INI so you can get the 60 FPS plus. So, move the Steam DLL over so that way Steam won't crash on you. And then you also are going to have to change the launcher name to get it to work. And then I would still, even if you do all of that on Steam, I would make a shortcut of that launcher, of the updated launcher, on your desktop so you can click and open it from your desktop. That'll work. It gives just a little bit of work, but it will work. But it's an excellent game for $3.74. Oh, it also runs actually perfect. And one thing about it, if you're only on a Steam Deck, this game runs perfectly fine on the Steam Deck. No problems. It's only on Windows where it has this issue. I tried it on Windows 11, and it's a headache with the Steam version on Windows 11. I'll leave it at that. And I got it for like the same price on GOG like a week ago. So try it on GOG or the EA app. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Now the sequel is coming, and I've played this on Steam. I've also played it on GOG. You're going to see my playtime is really low because most of my time has been spent with the GOG version. And the reason for that is because the GOG version just plain works better. Shout out to Mortiel, because Mortiel gifted it to me. My guy, Angelus de Mortiel, him and I used to do the Pixel Crashes podcast together, for those of you that have been around that long. He gifted this to me on GOG, but I really, really just wanted it on Steam. At the time, I was really big on keeping all of my games on Steam because it made it easier to keep up with my library and not buy duplicates and things. But this game just runs better on GOG. Now, there is a mod. You can get the mod and run the mod, and then it'll give you like a desktop icon, and then this game works perfectly fine. The mod's easy to install. It's just a regular executable. You'll download it, double tap it. It'll ask you, hey, where is your executable for this game? You just point it to the executable. It takes 30 seconds to actually fix it, and then it'll run just fine. Just don't launch it from Steam. Launch it from the executable that it makes on your desktop. But again, the GOG version just works. So it's a matter of how do you want to handle it. Neither way is wrong. But in my opinion, because it's an offline installer, always go GOG. GOG for games is generally my first choice. There's a ton of mods for this game. The game came out in 2003 or 2004, actually. You see right here. But it's a combat-focused RPG about vampires. Excellent writing, excellent combat, excellent gameplay. It is open world. Choice and consequence does matter here. Lots of replay value. I do recommend playing this game. Death's Door, $5. Came out in 2021. I did play a bit of this. I didn't beat it. I didn't finish it. I ended up buying it actually initially. I bought an Xbox Series S a few years ago, and I actually played it on the Series S for a little while, but I didn't end up finishing it. Again, got distracted with other games. I don't remember what I was playing at the time. I think I might have started Psychonauts at the time. I love. I know I only really talk about RPGs and strategy games here in Zelda, but I actually really like Psychonauts 1 and 2. So that's just something else. Whole another topic. But Death's Door is excellent. I'm not crazy on Souls-likes, and this is a Souls-like. But this game's actually really good. It's actually really cool. The combat's fair. You are going to beat your head against the wall a little bit, which is why I don't like the Souls-likes. I don't like dying over and over again. And I know it's a learning curve, but that's what I don't like about Souls-likes. I'll make another video about Souls-likes. I don't hate the games. They're just not my favorite genre because I find them frustrating. But anyway, this game is excellent. Everybody should play it. I love the art style. There's a good story in there. The combat does feel rewarding and fulfilling. There's some good puzzles in here too. You see there's some Zelda influence actually in here too. I see the Zelda influence, 2D Zelda specifically. It's just really a matter of the fact that it's this price, $5. You should play it. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm not even gonna say it's a matter of anything. Play this game for $5. Be aware though, it is a Souls-like. So if you don't like Souls games, you might not like this one. And I don't remember if there's difficulty options in here, and I don't know. I don't think there are. Divinity Original Sin 1. Now, Divinity Original Sin, that is the original IP from Larian Studios. If you play Baldur's Gate 3, you'll know Larian. That's the people who made Baldur's Gate 3. They didn't make the original Baldur's Gates 1 and 2. That was BioWare, but just Baldur's Gate 3. Divinity Original Sin were their games that they were making, their original IP that they made before BG3. And these games are excellent. In fact, Divinity Original Sin 2 is one of the few games that I've seen get 10s across the board from review sites. It's a CRPG, strategy-based RPG, very similar to what you saw in Baldur's Gate 3. And it's only $8. Now the first game is really good. The second game, like I said, from what I played, is better. I didn't beat either of them, but I played a good amount of them. I have them on GOG. But I do, like I said, recommend this guy for $8. I think it's a good game for $8. Especially if you like your turn-based tactics, which I do. Grim Dawn. This is the one game that I absolutely recommended just getting on GOG. And the reason is because it's just cheaper on GOG. Offline installers. And again, given the opportunity, I always recommend GOG. The cool part also about this is, for all intents and purposes, a Diablo 2 clone. It's a dark fantasy ARPG in the vein of Diablo. It has the isometric camera. You see your skills and everything down here. It was made in the same vein as Diablo 2. And if you like the Diablo games, you're going to like this. I played this only a little bit. I haven't gone through extensively. I own it on Steam. I've had it on Steam for years. But what I played, I actually really enjoyed. So again, recommend this guy. Especially if you like ARPGs. Everybody that I've talked to that likes ARPGs says this game is fantastic, and I agree. Darkest Dungeon. This is another game that I've only played a little bit of, just a few hours, before I got distracted with something else. But this game is also awesome. It's a roguelike tactical RPG, turn-based combat, really dark fantasy. But it's also an indie darling. It came out in 2016. I enjoyed what I played of it. I've been playing it on GOG recently. I like this game. I highly recommend this game. I think everybody should play this game. I'm not going to say too much about it. More than that, it's $3.75. Go pick it up. And lastly, Tyranny. To me, this is Obsidian's last great RPG. It was, and I want a sequel to it. It's the RPG where you just are the bad guy. You are the maniacal villain, and you should play it just for that reason alone. It's in the same kind of isometric CRPG vein for $7.50, like Pillars of Eternity. It's its own universe, it's its own IP. I don't think we're going to get a sequel to this. It came out in 2016, and the reason is it just didn't sell well. And Paradox Interactive owns the IP, so I think it's just going to be stuck. I would love to see Microsoft buy this IP out, buy it back, and revisit this series. This game is one of those gems and treasures and cult classics that just went under the radar, and everybody should play Tyranny. What I will say also is that it's only on PC, so if you're on a console and you're watching this, sorry, it doesn't play on console. Most of these games are on console. This one is only on PC. But it's real time with pause combat, just like Pillars of Eternity. Excellent gameplay, excellent writing, excellent kind of like this game is just really, really good. It's one of my favorites that I've played on the list that I think of and remember very, very fondly. And I don't remember if it's, yeah, it is playable on deck. I couldn't remember. I got it for free, and the reason you don't see this, I really like my offline installers. So I've been playing this more so on the Amazon launcher through Play Night. But this game, again, so good. Especially if you just want to be the bad guy. There's a lot of choices. You can make a lot of paths you can take. And again, it's only $7.50. So keep that in mind too. Take that with what you will. So those are my recommendations for the Steam Spring Sale. Again, it's going on for 4 more days, so get some deals in there, get some good games. All of these games are excellent. All of them are well reviewed, critically liked games that are loved by the community. Some of them sold better than others, but overall, I think these games are still worth playing. Highly, highly recommended. Let me know what you guys think about these games in the comments below. If there's any other RPGs or strategy games that you guys saw that you thought that should have been recommended, try to keep it, like I said, around 10, no more than $20, because games shouldn't cost really much more than that before they're worth playing, in my opinion. Most of the time the quality is just not there anymore. But anyway, let me know in the comments below. I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.